speaking with media expert Scot Landry, a good friend of ours here at EWTN. Has worked in Catholic media and also worked at the Archdiocesan level with media, which is certainly a challenge during dealing with the media. You know, when difficult stories break, how do you handle that? But specifically this morning, we're talking about transforming parish communications, which is actually the title of his new book, Transforming Parish Communications, Growing the Church Through New Media. Now, Scott, some people can see this and say, you know what, so I get it. I do email. I do some research on the internet. You know, I have my cell phone. I text. But this is so overwhelming to some folks in terms of trying to get a handle on it. It doesn't have to be, though, and you have a plan in the book, correct?
Yeah, so, one of the main target audiences for the book were pastors and parish leaders that don't know why they should be on new media. So I cover that in the first third of the book. The last third of the book is really to help a parish that wants to become an animator of its parishioners to become agents, those that would take the good news out to their social networks. How do I help a parish, particularly when the pastor says, I have so many things on my plate to implement a big initiative like this, I just can't get my hands around it. So I put draft implementation plans together on all these aspects, and I put a 24-month strategic plan to implement all the different forms of new media with, the build-up, the messages that they should share with parishioners, the types of ways to get parishioners involved. Because a parish getting on new media is just the start. For a parish to really transform its community and leverage all the tools for the new evangelization, they need to get all of its parishioners to first be on social media and then to use it well. And we encourage not necessarily to put 100% of their social media messages about the church, but to think about it as a tithe. If they put out 3 messages a day, that's 20 or 21 a week. So to think about 10% of those that you're given some sort of a faith-based message so that folks connect with you because you were a grammar school friend of theirs perhaps. They like reading your tweets about your sports teams, the Tigers out there by you or the Red Sox by us. But then, every now and then they hear that you're going to Mass or that you were really challenged by the pastor's homily or that your small group that gets together every Wednesday morning for breakfast is one of the highlights of your week. Those sorts of things which pique a curiosity and start a conversation and might lead somebody back to the church.
I also think, and I've learned this through my own work on social media, is that people like the personal side too. So for example, if there's an event and your child is, performing in a school play or something, or your Christmas play comes around or something like that, and you have pictures of that, and you post that on the parish's Facebook page, and you do some things and some unique things, some little gatherings. Maybe they have a luncheon we have a great thing every year, Scott, where we do the over 80 luncheon, which is absolutely hysterical. I mean, these people are so energetic and so much fun. They show up, about an hour early for the lunch every year, and they sing and they dance and they get together with people who are over 80, and we have a ton of them on our parish, including my mom, who's just turned 88. And those pictures are absolutely adorable and delightful. So sharing some of those events are a great thing to post too, that help the gospel.
Yes, and for people to listen to our message, both in the way we live our faith and what we share verbally about how our faith moves us and gives us bigger peace and gives us better happiness as we go closer to Christ, they need to trust the messenger. The closer they feel to the messenger, the more that they know about the person, the more that they say, I respect this person, I love this person, I want to follow this person on social media, the more open they will be to the tithe of messages that we might put in about the way we live our Catholic faith, inviting them to share that with us.
So in terms of walking people through the plan, what else they can do to implement new media at their parish?
So the first is I encourage each parish, instead of putting the task of really having a great outreach plan through new media on an existing committee, that the pastor would think about forming a new media outreach committee of 6 to 8 people, ideally not those who are tremendously involved in the parish already. Let's get some more people involved. I have a draft charter for what that new media outreach commission might look like, and then, as I mentioned earlier, a few the timelines and plans and the right way to sequence some of these initiatives, in my opinion. But getting more people involved who want to measure their success by how many parishioners can we get enlisted on this? If they've never been on Facebook or Twitter, how can we help them get signed up? How can we coach them through how to post messages, how to retweet or share messages, and then give them some messages from the parish or from other great Catholic organizations or Catholic leaders like yourself, Teresa, that they can just share with their followers. That's the easiest thing. It takes about a second to share a great message that you receive from a Catholic individual or an organization with everybody who you're connected with on social media.
Well, let's talk about that idea of sharing the messages on Facebook and what that means and how that can help.
So when I sign up for a Facebook account, I have a number of friends on Facebook like yourself, and if you posted a message about who was coming on your show earlier on Twitter, I know you mentioned that I was going to be on your show. So that comes into my the equivalent of an inbox on Facebook or Twitter, and then I just press one button and it gives me an option. Do I want to write anything in addition to what you've said, or should I just share it with all of my friends? So it does two things. One, it takes somebody like you and shares your message with my friends who might want to then follow you. So it helps more people hear the great content that you would have, but it also helps me quickly share great Catholic content or folks that can really move people closer to the church or to help them grow in faith with everybody that I know and care about who I'm connected with. Literally in 1 second for each message is how quickly that can be done. And if I just spend about 30 seconds on that per day, think of how many people who are already connected to me on social media can be moved by your messages to reach. It's not that I have to come up with all my own ideas of what to retweet. If you just follow the right Catholic organizations and individuals, that's very easy to just expose them to the people you care about.
Yeah, and thousands upon thousands of sharings can take place, and the message can be spread. And I keep thinking about the message of Pope Paul VI, and I'm trying to remember where he said this. He said the church would be ashamed, maybe it was a Vatican II quote, if she does not use the media. The church would be ashamed before the Lord if she does not use the media wisely. And so there's this whole idea of balance, where we don't want to constantly be on Twitter or Facebook or anything like that and be texting inappropriately. But at the same time, we have to be able to embrace these new forms of media to spread the gospel.
Well, what Pope Benedict and Pope John Paul II and Pope Francis has said more recently is that we as missionaries for the church, and we're all called to be missionaries, to bring the good news and to give it to other people away for free, we need to be where people are at.
Right.
And Pope Benedict said very precisely, many people today spend large parts of their existence, particularly their free time, on these new media platforms. So the church needs to be there. Now, that doesn't mean just Pope Francis. That means all of us, 1 billion strong, need to bring a soul to the internet and new media, to bring the best of ourselves and to share that. And that, I'm not just my faith. It's the biggest and one of the most important parts of me. But I'm also a Red Sox fan. I'm also a father. I'm also somebody that loves men's ministry.
A Red Sox fan. My husband's a huge Red Sox fan. I happen to be a Yankees fan, but we won't go there. Okay, Scot Landry, you're a great guy. Great book, Transforming Parish Communications, Growing the Church Through the New Media. It's published by Our Sunday Visitor. Scott, thanks so much. Always good to have you on the program.
Thanks so much, Teresa.
God bless.